And also both of those committed, Ford to Florida and Barnes to Old.
Action rolling right and now throwing back, left man wide open, catch made straight into the end zone, touchdown. J3 rolled right, looked back left, and nobody went with the Indian running back, and Waxahachie strikes first in tonight's game.
Well, right now you see a play that the Indians have not used all year, and what a special goal line play it was. No one, as you said, followed Strange out of the backfield. An easy toss and catch. Indians on the board first.
Ethan Guillen on for the extra point. Not even a minute into this one, and Waxahachie is on the scoreboard. And there is a penalty marker or whistle blown to stop before the snap. I don't see a hanky out anywhere. Official blew that dead for whatever reason. Oh, I guess they were wanting the play clock reset. So we'll try that again. Bernard holding. Guillen ready to kick it through for a second time. This one should count. Snap, hold, and kick all look great. Waxahachie takes a 7-0 lead with 11:05 to play in the opening quarter. More Indian football after this.
We got in the red barn, red zone pretty quick.
Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this is Texas Officials Appreciation Night. Let's remember the officials for this game and appreciate their good work. For the Indians, number 15, Guillen.
Scoring drive for the Waxahachie Indians brought to you by First Financial Bank. It's only 8 yards and 2 plays at 55 seconds off the clock. 7-0. Waxahachie takes the lead, but that 78-yard kickoff return set it all up for the Tribe. And now Ethan Guillen ready to kick it off to the Panthers, who will get a chance to see their offense for the first time tonight. But hey, if you're going to start a game off, that's a way to start it.
It absolutely is.
End over end from Guillen. That ball's going to be taken. It is Yancey on the return, and he gets submarined at around the 16-yard line. Going down low, and Jaden Johnson just took his pegs right out from under him, and it'll be the Panthers 1st and 10 from their own 17-yard line, going right to left.
I'm going to tell you what, Ken, he played a blocker off, too, to make that tackle as he went low on the return, man. But Indians fired up and geared up to start this one. Coach Dollison and staff has the Indians ready to go, and now will be the tell as they can stop the QB and the receivers for this Duncanville Panther team.
Maximus the Great Denson. That's the name of their quarterback. We'll call him Max from this point on, and there's early movement. Flags fly. Catch is made on the outside. Indians there to make a tackle at the 20, but there was a lot of action happening along the line of scrimmage. They're going to say the Indians were offside, but Caden Tollison saying, hey, they moved. That's why we came across. But I don't think he's going to be able to sell that. So Waxahachie's going to get penalized 5 yards, and instead of a 2-yard pickup, it'll only be a 5-yard gain, but still first down. 1st and 5 for the Panthers. Running back, Braden Arnold, as Denson sends 2 receivers left and 1 right. Now he pulls Asen Theus into the backfield on the other side of him with Arnold on the right. On a 1st and 5. Denson hands it off. Theus trying to get around the end, and the Indians get a lick on him, but he's able to roll forward to about the 23-yard line. Nice tackle for Waxahachie as Marion Cooper gets in there and knocks him down after a 1-yard pickup. 2nd and 4 for the Panthers.
It's good to see Cooper in the lineup after getting an injury in the previous game against the Forney Jackrabbits. Well, you gotta like the look.
Number 3, Denson.
Glad he's healthy. He makes a difference on that defense. Denson, quick pass outside, slip screen, block, and a helmet comes flying, and the receiver's down the sideline, and he's gone. All the way in, Yancey for the touchdown. As he goes 77 yards for the Panthers, and they're an extra point away from tying this game.
And when you talk about these wide receivers, Ken, we talked about Theus, Turner, Yancey, and Ellison. 136 catches last year for 2,800 yards, 36 TDs, and Denson finds one of his favorites early on. Would tie this one up.
You might get the idea that Yancey is quite the athlete. We've seen him on defense, we've seen him returning, and now here he is catching a pass and going 77 for the Panthers. And timeout being taken by the Indians before the extra point attempt.
Well, Waxahachie was late getting a player out on the extra point team, and again had to call the timeout to keep from getting a penalty.
I'm going to apologize. Apparently we're having a little issue with our Comrex signal. We'll try to get that corrected here during the commercial break, but in the meantime, we're waiting for the Indians to get the right personnel out before we work our way into the to the commercial break and see if their kicker Mitchell Watts can make good on the extra point attempt. That's pretty quick scoring, not even 2 minutes into the game, and both teams have hit pay dirt. A bad snap. Hold is down. It's blocked. And Indians have a chance to return this. Down the field. This is going to be a two-pointer. Waxahachie is going to block the extra point and take it to the house. The Indians get the block, and Braylon Davis takes it all the way back.
Well, I don't know which Indian got in there, partner, but to me it looked like maybe Talon Pierce got the big hands up. We maybe even one other, Aaron Snell, both of them in, got the big hands up, and one of them got the block.
I also think they may only have 10 guys on the field when that happened.
Well,
even after the timeout.
Well, well, maybe that is what they need to do each and every time, and that confuses how they're going to block. The opposing team just didn't block it. So, and the low snap, as you said, played big in that block.
So a blocked extra point is returned for 2 by the Indians, and now Waxahachie leads at 9-6. Mower Depot scoring summary for the Indians, pretty easy on that one. So the Panthers will tee it up and kick it to the Tribe, who leads by a field goal.
Oh, you don't see 9 points up early on.
That is pretty wild.
Well, the Indians doing a good job setting up.
Here's the kick, end over end, angled to the side, and Waxahachie on the turn from the 10-15 to the 20, coming to the near sideline to about the 22-yard line. And Waxahachie will set up 1st and 10. We get a chance to see the Indian offense operate from a little farther back this time after being set up at the 8-yard line their first time after the long kickoff return. They'll be operating from their own 22.
Well, we talk about the Indians' offensive line, Ken, averaging 286. Liam Anderson, center, the guards Justin Williams, and left guard Malik Bismuth, the left tackle Grant Gonzalez, and the right tackle Elijah Mendoza.
J3 on 1st and 10.
Sauce with our brand new Holy Cola barbecue sauce. Or you can shop us at
waiting for the snap. The Indians move early. 4 receiver formation, and in the slot, just a little step forward. by Jordan Smith is going to cost Waxahachie 5 yards. And Coach Tolley talked about those pre-snap penalties and something that the Tribe ill afford to have too many of tonight in this game against a team like the Panthers.
Well, again, when we talk about the defense of DeSoto, you're talking about 4 down linemen. Duncanville. You're talking about 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 defensive backs.
J3 to throw the slip screen to Cohen Brown, and he is swarmed. The Panthers are everywhere all over. Burns the first one there to make the hit, and the Indians going to be looking at 2nd down and a whole bunch now as they are back at the 14-yard line, 13-yard line.
Second and 19 for the Indians.
So 2nd and 19, 3 receivers going left, 1 right. Empty backfield for J3, and he fumbles the snap, and he's in trouble, and now trying to get out of trouble. Now throwing downfield, Cohen Brown's there, makes the catch, 30, and steps out of bounds. They said he stepped out of bounds at the 28 before he got to the 30-yard line. He tried to stay in bounds. Hey, I can't believe J3 even got rid of that ball. He was surrounded.
Well, he pulled Houdini getting out of the big Duncanville rush and trap. But again, Brown just stepping on the sideline. That one was going all the way.
Unbelievable effort by Jerry Meyer III. Now a timeout on the field with 9:20 to play in the opening quarter. Waxahachie Indians down in 4 after all that excitement.
Well, now remember, Coppell stats are not in what we're giving. Only the 2 games with Ennis and with Forney. Cohen Brown coming into tonight's action, 13 catches for 256 yards. That time, maybe one that could have gone all the way.
All right, here we go. 3rd down, 4 for the Indians. J3 looks to the sideline to get his signal. Stays in that triplets to the left side, rolls that way. Trying to get outside, throws downfield and over the head of his intended receiver. Running down the side complete, and the Indians will be looking at 4th and 4.
Well, very seldom do you see Jerry sprint to the left, but that time the pattern well covered by the secondary of the Panthers.
So the Waxahachie Indians will have to punt it away.
Now again, averaging about 43 yards punting this year. He's been one of the special team specials.
And now the Panthers take a timeout.
They've got
4th
too
and
many.
4.
They've got too many on the field.
So they'll get that straightened out. In the meantime, we will tell you that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Crime Stoppers of Ellis County, Tow Pro Wrecker Service, and Red Phoenix Roofing, along with Featherston Auto Repair, Oma's Jiffy Burger, Robert Hansa CPA, and Walton's Total Car Care. Again, we apologize for having some technical difficulties with our Comrec signal, but when we get a chance, we'll try to reboot that and see if we can't get things straightened out a bit here from Lumpkin Stadium tonight as the Tribe gets ready to punt this football away. A 9-6 lead for Waxahachie with 9:13 to go in the opening quarter. He is just waiting for the officials to get the ball set so we can get a snap kickoff. Indians from their own 28. That pressure from that Duncanville defense, it's a real deal, isn't it? Here they come in after the punt, but Guillen gets off a nice one. That kick will hit and take a nice Indian bounce, hits a Panther, and Duncanville is able to get on top of it. He didn't even know it was coming his way, but that's a heads-up play, and who else? It's Yancey again who is able to slide in there and recover that muffed punt.
I tell you what, he was yelling at the blocker that had his back turned to him, and you're right, Yancey, quick to get on top of it. I was watching Ethan in warm-ups punting. He was working on the high spiral, keeping it away from the returner Yancey, and that was the spot he wanted it. Indians did not, however, take advantage of the ball bouncing off of a Panther.
That would have been a huge break for the Tribe to get the ball right back in Duncanville territory. Instead, Here come the Panthers. Denson at quarterback. And the handoff running right side across the 45 into the 47-yard line.
Well, we want to talk about the Panther offensive line, Ken. They averaged 300 pounds. The Indian line setting up with their 4 down linemen looking to go against the big men up front for the Panthers.
2nd and 6. Empty backfield and a 5-receiver set for Denson. And there's early movement again. Quick pass across the middle. Catch is made for a first down by the Panthers. Zach Turner, and the Panthers will decline this offside penalty. Boy, still down is Turner after that sandwich he became at the Waxahachie 41-yard line. So injury timeout on the field. Let's take that commercial break and we'll try to get things rebooted and be back with more Indian football after this.
Number 1, Demarion Cooper. Panthers game 7, every 2nd and 3.
All right. What is going on with this?
Denson hands off to number 21, Arnold. He's stopped by number 2, Jaquan Snell.
And we welcome you back to Stuart Lumpkins Memorial Stadium, where the Indians and the Duncanville Panthers are playing in this district opener with 7:04 to go in the opening quarter. A 9-6 Waxahachie lead. Duncanville at the Waxahachie 34, and the handoff up the middle and some really tough running. Still scrum moving across the 30 to about the 29-yard line on the carry by Arnold, and that'll move the chain for the Panthers.
Well, the Indians up front, number 5, Talon Pierce, number 0, Aaron Snell, Carmelo Clausen, one of the ends, Cedric Marsh Jr., another end, and they have their hands full with the big men up front. We talked about the offensive line, averaging 300 pounds for this Duncan, getting a good push against the front 5.
So Panthers 1st and 10 at the Waxahachie 29, trying to move down and take their first lead of the game. Man in motion, and the pitch goes to Asen Theus, and the Indians get on him pretty quick that time. Good job by the Indian defense to converge quickly, and leading the way for Waxahachie is Jaquan Snell. Loss of a yard.
Well, Theus normally a receiver, taking what looked like a good toss from his quarterback up yardage, you know,
but instead he loses a yard.
Only 3rd carry on the year, and again, remember, this Duncanville Panther team has only played one game this year coming in, so when you look at numbers, that's off of a one-game completion.
Second down at 11 from the Waxahachie 30. And the handoff, and the Indians watches pulls back, and he gets hit so hard his helmet pops off.
I'm going to tell you what.
And down goes Denson at about the 25-yard line, and that's Snell again. And we've talked about nobody hitting any harder than Jaquan Snell has out of that defensive backfield for the Indians.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The junior, 6'3", 190, Ken, and he has been one solid tackler, hard hitter coming up from his safety position.
So third down and about 7 needed for a first. You figure the Panthers are in 4-down territory at this point at the Waxahachie 26-yard line, should they not convert here.
I think what they're talking
but they
about.
do have a new quarterback in as Denson goes to the sideline.
Well, this is the left-hander.
That's going to be Jacorian Rivers who takes over at quarterback on 3rd down and 7, and there's a penalty marker. Looked like one of those receivers maybe took off a little too soon.
I think
that'll move them back 5 yards and 3rd down and 12. Big, wasn't the receivers, one of those big offensive linemen, but I thought Theus looked like he took off a little bit quick too, but they lay the 5 and 285 pounds.
Well, that's the reason they can lay the blame on him. He's a little bit bigger than the wide receiver.
Certainly easier to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
3rd and 12. Panthers at the Waxahachie 31 now. Rivers still in at quarterback, even with the penalty marked off. Denson still on the sideline. Back to throw, Rivers. Southpaw has a man open, catch is made. That's a first down. The Waxahachie 22, and that's Theus getting his arms under and getting that ball before it hits the turf to move the chains. They pick up 14 when they needed 12.
Well, the 5th catch year. Talk about Denson is the only quarterback with Ken, so the left-hander taking over for his first game action tonight.
1st and 10. Panthers at the Waxahachie 17-yard line, and back in Denson at quarterback. And Denson will hand it off and up the middle, spinning for tough yardage. Braden Arnold finally brought down around the 13-yard line of Waxahachie. A pickup of 5. 2nd and 5 coming up. 3:12 to play in the opening quarter. 9-6. Waxahachie has the lead.
Well, Arnold rushing at an average of 7 ball. The sophomore doing a good job of, at least for the first game, carrying the.
And he'll get the handoff again, and he'll sprint to the end zone. Touchdown. 12-yard touchdown run. Arnold for the score, and the Panthers have their first lead of the night as they go up 15-12 over the Indians. Great blocking on the left side, opened up a huge lane.
Well, when you're talking about that blocking, you're talking about Welch that goes 305, the left guard, and Williams, the left tackle, at 285. And you're right, Ken, did a great job of clearing the path for Arnold's 3rd touchdown of the year.
The last extra point attempt and ran it all the way back for a 2-point conversion against the Panthers. Let's see if they get a little bit better snap in. This time for Watts, and it floats back there, but it gets the kick off, and it is good. 2:44 to go in this opening quarter. Duncanville 13, Waxahachie 9. More Indian football after this.
Bringing it up for the Panthers, number 74, Wyatt. There's run down by number 51, Elijah Miller. First and 10 for the Indians. From their 22-yard line. Meyer back. Hand off to number 4, Strange. He's stopped by number 99, Johnson, and number 5, Manning. Loss of 1 on the play, second and 11. Meyer in the backfield. Nice intercepted by number 13, Victor Lincoln. In for the touchdown. Wyatt attempting to point after. Kick is up and good. 1:54 remaining in the first quarter play. The score is Duncanville 20, Waxahachie 9. Indian football would like to send a heartfelt thank you to more of our meals from Ellis County Title Company, Bureau Roofing and Construction, Bison Title, T-Row Realty, Regional Ortho Sports Medicine Center, and the Avenue Church. Thank you for your support. Back deep for the Eagles will be number 1, Ben Smith. Number 6, Bernard Duck. Wyatt's teeing it up for the Panthers. Kickoff goes through the end zone. Touchback, 25-yard line. Jeremiah the third again. Quarterback. In the backfield. Pass was incomplete.
Snap out of pocket. Ball. Crossing out front. Hold. Go down. Rotation practice.
That brings up 2nd and 10 for the Indians. Meyer back. Pass. Brown pushed out to number 13, Lincoln. Ball at the 30.
What have happen is just get too far behind these guys because they are hard to catch up.
Well, they're hard to catch up. The rush just intensifies as they get after any quarterback when they fall behind, and maybe the pass is the order of catching up. Meyer that time running for his life and got it away to his favorite receiver, Cohen Brown. Brown with the 14th and 15th catch of tonight.
Meyer back.
3rd down and 5. J3 in trouble, scrambling left, trying to get outside, has the first down. J3 forging ahead the 7-yard line. A good scramble to keep the drive alive for the Indians.
Well, one of the things you don't see J3 do very often is tuck it and run, but that time he saw a lane open up, and again, Coach Tollison and staff hollering, get down when Panthers get close. He did exactly that with the
Do what
help
you need to do and then hit the deck.
Yeah, but he got a little help from the linebacker on that play, taking him down.
1st and 10 Indians. As J3 from the 37 hands it off Strange, dancing outside, gets a block. He's to the 40 and pushed out of bounds. Tackled way out of bounds.
That's got to be an extra hit right there.
No flag. All the way across the white boundary on the sideline, and the flags stay in the back pocket, and that'll be a pickup of about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for the Indians. So let's see if Waxahachie can parlay this into a nice drive and try to get a little momentum back in this thing. Snap, handoff, Strange, right into a bunch of Panthers.
Number 4, Strange.
He's going to lose a yard back to the 40.
I'll tell you what, that right side of the defensive line for Panthers just gobbled up Strange.
So a 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Indians. We tick down under the 42nd mark in the open. Duncanville leads.
And that is on the right side, Landon Barnes. It goes 245 at the defensive end spot, and Corey Johnson, who we talk about, the senior, 290 at the nose tackle.
3rd down and 7. Snap is back. J3 now running again. Scrambling, now throwing on the run, and it's tipped out of bounds. What a great recovery in the defensive backfield by Braylon Edwards, who runs across there and gets a hand up and slaps that away for a minute. It looked like they were going to get a completion over there to Jordan Smith, and Edwards just made an outstanding recovery, and Indians will have to punt it away.
We talk about those that have a lot of opportunity to play somewhere else, and Edwards, you mentioned his name. He's one of those that is looked at by Division I schools, and you can see why, Ken. Boy, the makeup speed to get to that one, to knock it down, putting the Indians in punt position.
Theus goes back deep to return. The kick will be angled. Hits and takes a high bounce. He's going to take it on the run as well. I thought they had him down, and he popped right out of that, but thank goodness that Caden Tollison stayed with it and got the tackle to keep him from going any further.
There you.
Well, they have speed to burn
they
over
sure
on that Duncanville sideline, and Theus is one of those that can really turn on the Jets.
Oh, that's the end of one, partner.
All right, Waxahachie trails at 20-9 at the end of one, and we'll be in football after this. But the Panthers have turned it on after the Indians had a 9-6 lead, 2 touchdowns, one of those pick 6, and 20-9 Duncanville as we open up the second quarter, and a Panther handoff to the 45-yard line. Getting the carry, Braden Arnold to pick up about 3 yards before Calderon gets the stop for the Indians.
Well, Hector has done a good job from his rover position.
We sure hate to say this early, but it's true. Indians need to make a defensive stop.
Well, they sure do.
Against these Panthers. Don't let that snowball start rolling down. Second down and 7, and it's a handoff to Arnold.
Well, the Indian front four doing a little looping, and of course, on that play, a linebacker on a run blitz that time, clogging up the hole, and another third down opportunity for get a stop here and get the ball back.
Third down, 5. Panthers are from the near hash, going left to right here in the second quarter. And Denson backside pressure, flag is thrown, sacked on a nice play for Waxahachie, and Cedric Marsh got through there to get him, but now let's check the hanky. The fact they let him play on makes you think it's an offside, but we'll see.
I think the right tackle was lined up in the backfield, Ken.
All right, that could be. If it's a formation penalty, that they wouldn't throw the flag till the ball was snapped on the offensive side. So let's see what the man with the white cap has to say about that. Well, they're coming over to talk with Coach Tollison, so that makes me think it's against the Panthers. Do you want the loss of yardage on the sack? 2 fouls.
We got holding, offense, false start, offense, penalty decline, resulting play.
And Tollison says, let's just decline them both and set up a 4th down and 9, and the Panthers will send their punt team, and that's a big stop for the Indian defense.
Is.
What a play by Cedric Marsh, by the way.
Absolutely.
Just diving and getting the heels.
Oh, that's right. Chased him all the way down, and as you said, made the diving stop. I'll tell you what.
Panthers in punt formation. Trenton Yancey is their punter.
He's also his return
He's
man.
everything.
He's
everything.
Yeah, he is a Swiss Army knife.
And now a penalty marker as the play clock goes down to 0. Delay a game. We'll move that 5 yards further back. Should help the Indians get a little bit better field position. Cohen Brown goes back to return for the Indians. 9:57 and counting to play in this first half. 20-9, the lead for the Panthers. Just as it was important to get a defensive stop, really important for this offense to get a positive drive going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yancey kicks it away. Cohen Brown waits for that ball to come in, and he's going to return it. Breaks the tackle, breaks a second, gets tripped up, though, and goes down around the 36-yard line. And that's where the Indians will be 1st and 10 at their own 36.
Good punt coverage that time by the Panther unit. Again, the Indians with good field position. You know, we started so fast, I wasn't able to tell you that it was 85 degrees at kickoff time. It felt like 86. The wind at 8 miles an hour out of the southeast. And the UV index, partner, just like you like it, was 0 when we started this one. But I tell you, the opening start for the Indians, beautiful night for this first district football game. And as you said, now need to move the football, control the clock, control the ball.
Trailing 20-9 as they go 1st and 10, going right to left. J3 with 2 receivers left and right, and in the backfield, Jordan Smith to his left. And J3 will throw the quick out, and then they'll pitch it on the hook and lateral, and Smith steps out of bounds, couldn't stay in. Got a quick pass out to Jordan Thompson-Woods, and then he flipped it back to Smith, but he couldn't stay in bounds, and that ends up being a 5-yard pickup.
Got a little bit of jawing from number 5 from the Panthers toward the Indian sideline. Don't know what set him off, but official reminding him that the field of play is out that way.
2nd down and 5 for the Tribe from their own 41-yard line. Jerry Meyer III with the snap will keep. Turns it upfield. Boy, he gets hurt. Yikes. Called run for the Panthers after a gain of a yard. 3rd down and 4.
Woo. I'm going to tell you what, when you talk about filling the gap, you said it just right. And delivering the hit.
Glad to see J3 get up after that one.
Now, Jalen Manning, the 6'2", 235-pounder, the middle linebacker, has been very active also for this Panther defense early tonight.
3rd down and 4 for the Indians. 8 to play in the first half. Down 20-9. Handoff. Dancing across. Getting the 1st down with 2nd effort. Jordan Smith. The Indians will move the chains. And now late flag flies out after that run.
I'm telling you, partner, number 5 has had something to say after every play, and
he's a little shaken up after that run. He's staying in, but he can tell he's hurting. Well, now maybe he is going to come to the sideline. He took quite a lick. That penalty is going to go against the Panthers and put the Indians in Duncanville territory. They mark off 15 here for an unsportsmanlike conduct. That'll take the ball down to the Duncanville 38-yard line.
Hate to call out numbers, but number 5
Same guy?
has to be a little bit quieter.
He's something's stuck in his craw on this series. He's yelling at the Indian sideline. Get an extra lick in on Strange. 1st and 10 Indians from the Duncanville 38. J3 hands it off. Strange with a stutter step, then just lowers his head to get forward for a yard. 2nd down and 9.
Tell you what.
And now we've got an injured Indian on the field after that play.
Number 11, Dylan Williams. 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9.
Gives us an opportunity with the break in the action to talk about some of our fine sponsors. Certainly hope he's okay. What a key cog he is in Waxahachie's offensive attack. Indians with a 2nd down and 9 after the injury timeout. It looks like they're lining up a little wildcat with both Strange and Jordan Smith in the backfield. 4 receiver set. And the handoff and turning upfield. Smith has the 30 and dives to the first down.
Well, when you talk about Fincher, Ken, the 5'10", 210-pound senior H-back, lead blocker, and where else you miss him, he is the deep snapper and the snapper on points after and field goals, and is an important part in that part. Looks like a left leg injury as he comes in and gets in the medical tent on the sideline.
First down run by Jordan Smith moves the chains. Indians down to the Duncanville 28. J3 hands it off, and Smith cutting back to the middle. He'll get 2 yards, make it to the 26. 6:56 to play in this first half with Indians down 20-9 and trying to get this back within a possession.
Almost like a halfback counter play as J3 goes to his left and counters back, handing off to his halfback going right, but not a lot of running room on that play.
2nd down after a 2-yard pickup to the Duncanville 26. J3 sends 3 receivers to the left side. Snap, throw outside to Cohen Brown, looking for some blocking. Eludes a defender. Arms, makes his way to the 21-yard line. And the Indians will be looking at 3rd down, and they're going to need about 4 or 5 yards for a first.
Well, I tell you what, when Cohen touches the ball and after the play, they're reminding Cohen of something. I don't know what it is, but the Panthers are certainly got their lips moving tonight.
Indians 3rd down and 4 from the Duncanville 22-yard line. J3 looks over the defense, gets the play from the sideline. Indians will move a triplet set of receivers to the right side with the snap, looking right, rolling right, now throwing up for grabs and incomplete over the head of Cohen Brown and out of bounds.
Well, a lot of pressure again coming from the right defensive end. Well,
we'll see what the Indians decide to do now, Coach. What would you think?
I think they're going field goal, Ken, to cut it to 8 points, where a score and 2 points will catch up. But look to see who the deep snapper will be on this one. Brown hit one from 45 that we didn't get to count in the Coppell game. He certainly has the leg to do it.
So Guillen, 39-yarder. Oh, he hits this one bad. Low and spinning sideways to the left, and you don't see that very often from Ethan Guillen, and the Indians cannot cash in, trailing 20-9 with 6:06 to play in this 2nd quarter. Not sure what happened there, but
well, the snap looked pretty good, and Bernard got it down. It's
just very Ethan Guillen-like.
Yeah, I started to say the right leg didn't cooperate, and that is rare, as you said.
So the Panthers take over on downs, leading 20-9 with 6:06 to go in the 2nd quarter, operating from their 22-yard line.
Indians need a big stop here, get the ball back, and put some points up on the board before halftime, get a little momentum going into the halftime.
Max Denson, penalty markers fly, flips it out, and big hit. Ball rolls free. They're going to say it's incomplete. That was awesome. Ball sailing into the hands of the receiver, Theus, and just as it got there, Piper just laid it right into it. Procedure call's going to go against the Panthers.
Well, they probably decline that one and take the play. We'll find out. Piper, I'm going to tell you, 5'10", 160-pound junior, played an outstanding defensive game last week against the Jackrabbits, and tonight just adds on to fine and really reading the play quickly and getting there and putting the hit on the receiver.
timeout on the field.
I'll tell you what, you talk about a hard-hitting game on both sides tonight.
We've seen some real licks. That procedure call will mark 5 yards off against the Panthers. And the official, well, he showed procedure penalty. Did he say it was declined?
They declined it.
Okay. So they'd rather have 2nd and 10 than 1st and 15.
Yes, sir. Get the ball back quicker.
Panthers will stay right there at their 21-yard line. The Indians declined the penalty. Denson sends a man in motion, takes the snap, now hands it off. The Indians keeping an eye on that situation pretty close, and Arnold's not going to find a lot of running room there, maybe a yard or and a half. It's going to be 3rd and long coming up for the Panthers. Let's see if we can yo-yo switch back to the Comrex, and I'll adjust accordingly, and let's see if we can't make that work for a while. We've had some technical issues tonight, but we'll certainly try our best to either bring it to you via the cell phone receiver and out of bounds. Not only are the Indians going to get the ball back, that incomplete pass stops the clock with 5:08 to go in this first half.
I tell you what, Marsh and Tollison coming on a blitz, and Marsh from his left defensive end putting on pressure.
So the punt unit coming out for the Panthers, Yancey and company. And the Indians will send Cohen Brown back deep to return. Waxahachie should get some pretty good field position here, trailing 20-9. Making another big defensive stop. Here's the end over end kick away from Cohen. Field takes the Duncanville road to the 45-yard line. Indians start 1st and 10 at their own 45 with 4:59 on the clock and a chance still to try to get within a possession if they can get down and score.
I tell you what, Yancey was lucky to get that one away. The Indians had the block rush on all and almost came up with that one.
31-yard punt by Yancey. So 1st and 10 for the Tribe. Their last offensive series got to within field goal range, but Ethan couldn't boot the 39-yarder through. So now let's see if maybe they can come back and cash this in for 6. Strange and J3 in the backfield. Strange to the left of Jerry. Here's the snap, the handoff. Strange, big hole left side. Closes quickly though, doesn't it? Boy, those Panthers, that was a huge hole. And next thing you know, there's about 3 white shirts flying right in there. One of those, the very loquacious and verbose Jalen Manning.
Well, that right defensive end, he has been solid.
Yeah.
And that middle linebacker still always around it.
2nd down and 9. J3 to the sideline. Sliding catch made at the 45. Ball hauled in that time by Jordan Thompson-Woods. Set up a 3rd down and a yard for the Indians. We tick down towards the 4-minute mark.
That good quick pass and catch, and Indians still marching toward their goal line. What do you got, Coach Roberts? Got Strange running off tackle.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let him pick a little spot and move on through and keep the drive going. He takes the handoff, and he does just that and keeps his balance to get to the 40-yard line. 1st down Indians.
Now going off the left tackle and
knocked down by number 32. Got a 1st down for the Indians, although the chain gang's a little late getting everything moved and put into place. 3:44 to play in the 2nd quarter. They'll mark the ball at the Duncanville 41-yard line.
Toby Olivo in at the up back spot. Number 45 got a good block to free up the running back for the 1st down.
J3 rolling right. Deep drop. Throwing towards the sideline and has to way too high because of good coverage on Cohen Brown along that sideline. He still caught it, but he was way out of bounds when he did.
Well, Finally got a little help from the chain gang.
I thought they made the yard marker guy have to drop his marker.
He sure
didn't
did. Got a little, I tell you what.
Stops the clock with 3:22 to go in the quarter.
All sprint outs early on for J3, trying to avoid that big rush from the Panthers. And the play late, the receivers having a tough time getting an open spot.
Well, Barnes and Manning have made life miserable so far against this Indian offense. Those two linebackers and sometimes lining up as a defensive end. Handoff on the end around Woods. Stops, oh my goodness, makes a little head fake, spins out of trouble, and that second effort has him about 1.5 yards short of a first down. He just stopped, threw his head back, and then spun around.
Well, that would put most people in the hospital having to move that quick. And again, you got to like the effort. The Indians trying to, again, put points on the board here before halftime and gain the momentum back on their side after a fast start tonight.
Clock's moving, 2:45 and counting to play in the second quarter. Indians down 20-9, but they're at the Duncanville 32. J3, low snap, has trouble picking up the ball. That's Bernard actually who's at quarterback. And still, look at Bernard fighting to get the first down. Nolan had to pick that up off of his shoelaces, but is able to find his way to the 27-yard line for an Indian first down.
Well, that was a different look for the bull package.
He was in the spread. He's not used to taking a shotgun snap like that. Of course, you talked to Indians all the way around, have had some issues. They've had to play some guys at the snapper position, the center and such, that they haven't counted on when the season started. So it's been an adventure from time to time. Cohen Brown with a quick pass outside, slips to the 25, to the 20, and 18-yard line, a yard short of the first down.
Well, reading it quickly, getting it out quickly to his receiver, and Brown doing the extra work. Good blocking by his wide receivers on that side to free him up for, what, a 9-yard gain on first down.
We have the 2-minute timeout here at Stuart Lumpkins Memorial Stadium, the district opener, Waxahachie and Duncanville, and the Indians trying to get in a score. And last week, by the way, and I know can't believe how many folks told me I went a little overboard last week on the being upset about Cohen Brown's reception not being a touchdown, but it was obvious to us that it was.
Yes, it was.
And it was obvious to everybody on the field. And guess who else it was obvious to after the film was looked at?
How about the officials, partner?
Who called Shane Tollison personally to say, yeah, we missed that one, Coach. He was in for the score. And and then froze and did nothing. But I will do my best not to lament missed calls quite to the extent I did last week. I was hoping that wouldn't hurt us, and in the end it didn't. But he was in for the score, for those of you wondering, by the admission of the officials who were on the field after they got a chance to see the game film.
Well, we had a good position to see it, and the only thing that Coach Tollison said, he asked Cohen Brown next time, just go ahead and drive through that
stop
tackler.
Yeah, get across the goal line, keep on going. 2nd down and 1 for the Indians. J3 hands it off. Strange going off left tackle, has the first down to the 16-yard line. And the Indians will move the chains once again. Control the clock, control the ball, keep the chain. That was the formula last week, and on this drive so far, it's looking more like what Waxahachie did against Forney on this drive. 1st and 10 Indians inside the Red Barn Flea Market red zone. From the 16-yard line, J3. Pump action, now in trouble, now sacked. Down he goes back around the 26-yard line. He knew he couldn't throw that ball. There were too many white shirts around those receivers on the right side. It's just one of those things. He had to eat it, and when somebody's picking you up and taking you to the ground. That cost the Indians a lot of yards back to the 24s where they'll mark that, setting up a 2nd down and 18 for Waxahachie. The clock's still moving, about a minute to go here before halftime. Ooh. On 2nd and 18. J3 back to throw again. Here comes Manning again. Across the middle, picked off at the 20-yard line. Panthers have their 2nd interception of the night. Well, guess who it is, partner? That is going to be our favorite guy of the night so far, Jalen Manning. I tell you what, J3 took a hit after he cut loose with that one. And the Indian drive will go over on the turnover with 50 seconds left at quarter. So a missed field goal and an interception have killed Indian opportunities after they've made it into the red zone their last 2 drives.
I'm going to tell you what, J-Line got a little limp on the left side.
He got hit pretty hard. See, release that ball. So here come the Panthers with 50 ticks left in this 9 lead. Denson, Panther quarterback, got shaken earlier in this game and missed 3 or 4 plays before he came back in. As coach said, it's been a hard-hitting game so far. Denson back to throw, going with the home run ball. Indians have some coverage, and there is the early hit though, coming down the sideline. That's going to be a pass interference. Just getting there a little too soon and making contact. For Ingram, it looks like that'll, of course, be a 15-yarder because that's far enough down the field that I don't know why they're marking like they think it's going to be at the spot of the foul. This isn't the NFL. All these kids are having to walk back 20 yards. But they will mark it 15, and with 44 seconds, Panthers will be a little closer to midfield.
Pass interference.
What?
Defense, 15 yards. First down.
Well, when you talk about what all coaches preach, if you're beat, go ahead and take the pass interference instead of possible touchdown.
So that'll put the ball at the Duncanville 42, 1st and 10. Penalty does stop the clock till it's marked ready for play. Indian defense trying to hold strong again. They've done well on the last 2 Panther possessions. Back to Denson. Oh, that's going to be the left-hander again, isn't it? Rivers back in. He is able to get his pass. There's another quick pass out, this time incomplete. Trying to go back to Yancey at midfield. A little too tall. And it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Panthers with 19 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, that quick down and out is something that we watched in pregame warm-ups. And when Benson wants to cut loose, he can cut it loose.
He sure can. He's trying to save a little time getting a pass at the boundary to go out of bounds and just threw it too tall. 3rd down and 6. Snap. Looking for the deep ball. Indians got him surrounded. They got him sacked. Denson goes down back at the 38-yard line, surrounded by Indians. First hit made by Talon Pierce. 3rd down and going to be about 14 needed for a 4th and 14 for a first.
Got some help from his left end, Marsh, on that one, but
clock runs out though, and that's the way the half will end. The Indians trailing 20-9. We'll tell you how that scoring occurred. We'll also have the band performances tonight for both our bands in attendance, Duncanville and Waxahachie. We'll have
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please direct your attention to the center of the field and welcome the heart of Duncanville, Texas, the beautiful and award-winning Duncanville High School Hi-Hats featuring the Showstoppers. The 2025-2026 Hi-Hat officers are 1st Junior Lieutenant Janissa Garfias, 2nd Junior Lieutenant Kaylee Daniels, Squad Leader Canaria Fuller. Hi-Hat of the Week is Kimora Rogers. Spirit Dancer of the Week is Sienna Jefferson. The Hi-Hats are under the direction of Miss Brianna Dawson, Assistant Director Miss Erin Roloffs. Tonight, the Hi-Hats will perform a kick routine to applause. Take it away, ladies. They are your 3-time UIL State Marching Band champions. They hold the Texas 6A record of the most appearances at the UIL State Marching Band Championships. Field the 2025 Duncanville High School Marching Band. The DHS Marching Band is led onto the field today by drum majors Jade Muniz, Aiden Chavez, and Gabriel Torres. The Duncanville High School Band is led by directors Paula Tagalis, Lion Brown, Gilberto Diaz, Dylan Ryan, and Director of Marching Band Savannah Hutcherson. The Duncanville Color Guard is directed by Jake Mooney. Tonight, the Duncanville Band will perform parts 1, 2, and 3 of their 2025 show titled The Wilder West. And now, Duncanville High School in the City of Champions present The Band, where pride makes the difference.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give another round of applause to the 2025 Duncanville High School Marching Band. We would like to thank and recognize the support we received from Duncanville Superintendent Dr. Rory, our Board of Trustees, Director of Fine Arts Paul Dusay, DHS Executive Principal Danny Culver Jr., Collegiate Academy Principal Dr. Tiffany Stetz, and the entire Duncanville community. The Duncanville Band would like to send warm wishes to our friends in the Waxahachie Band and wish them a great marching season. Your announcer has been Cesar Montalongo. Ladies and gentlemen, the Waxahachie Independent School District is proud to present the award-winning, traditionally acclaimed 2025 Waxahachie High School Cherokee Charmers. The Charmers enter the field celebrating their 63rd year of excellence and tradition, sponsored by America's Muffed City Soap, Cardinal CG, and Cool Hand Electric. The Charmers being led on the field by their All-American Dance Officers, sponsored by Craig Burnell Guy and Homefield Onsite Environmental. Senior Lieutenant Brooke Beck, Senior Lieutenant Bree Rodriguez, Senior Lieutenant Lindsay Wakefield, Senior First Lieutenant Casey Herrera, and in the center, Senior Captain Jordan Hanson. Each week, the Charmer officers select an outstanding drill team member to be recognized for her dedication, attitude, showmanship, and dance abilities. Cherokee Charmer of the Week is Softly. Charmer officers also selected a Performer of the Week, a Charmer who continually exhibits outstanding dance skills. This week's Performer of the Week is freshman Trinity Hearn. DTC Spirit of the Week is freshman Gabby Cheney. And Legacy Leader of the Week is sophomore Evie Diaz. Emory and Trinity have selected Miss Ting and Mr. Hooks as their outstanding Waxahachie High School Teachers of the Week. And now, for your halftime entertainment, the Charmers will perform a streamer jazz routine to September. The Charmers would like to thank the teachers, counselors, and principals of Waxahachie High School for all their support. Charmers would particular appreciation to the following for all their support, encouragement, and sponsorship. Walker Insurance Agency. Vote so is Erica Pointer. And now, please welcome to the field the Spirit of Waxahachie Indian Band. Tonight, the Spirit of Waxahachie will be joined by the amazing 8th grade students from Coleman, Finley, and Howard Junior Highs. Let's give a huge Hatchie welcome to they perform some of our Indian cheers and crunch time. Ayala. The Spirit of Waxahachie is recognized as a state and national leader in marching, concert, and jazz performance. The marching band is a consistent performer of the UIL State Marching Contest and has performed at UIL State Finals 10 times since 2009. The Spirit of Waxahachie was one of only 5 bands across the entire world.
That 60-yard range, which is pretty impressive.
Well, it certainly is. And when you talk about this Panther team, you always talk about how against the Indians they arrive at the second half. So third quarter being key, Indians coming out. And
and remember, Duncanville's going to get the ball.
yes, and that's what I was just about to say. They're going to have to kick it to the Panthers. And that is the same scenario that we have seen almost every time we have played the Panthers the last 3 years.
You know, you think about it, we talked about 2 Indian drives that got into the red zone. They didn't get points on a missed field goal, the interception. And I also think about that punt that hit the unknowing Panther and just squirted across the turf, and somehow Yancey able to speed his way up and get on that ball before the Indians could. And what a big turnover that would have been for the Tribe. So some near misses. Let's see if they can't cash in on some of those here in the second half, trailing 20-9 to these Panthers.
We'll see what adjustments the Panthers and the Indians made at halftime. You know, watching Coach Dollison at the end of the first half, spent a lot of time visiting with the head official and trying to find out a couple of things and a couple of calls that maybe looked a little different, at least from the Indian sideline, getting some thought process from the man with the white cap. But the Indians, I'll tell you what, impressive first half, and a bounce here or a bounce there. The Indians are right in there, either ahead or a lot closer than 11 behind.
Field Summit tonight by a 21-15 score, so he's hoping for a little turnaround as well.
Playing much better.
Well, they're hoping not to get a losing streak going. They lost to Seguin, I think, last week, but he's hoping for a big come from behind win tonight.
Seguin's had pretty good go the last year and a half.
Second half kickback. First man on the spot, Camuel Jones, of course, who is just a real headhunter on special teams. And then Mark Piper jumps in there to complete that sandwich of Yancey.
No big return to start the second half, and that's
already a win. So Panthers going 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line.
Got a lot of.
Seguin didn't just beat Burleson. Yo-Yo says they shut them out 21-0 last week, so they're already doing better. Maximus the Great King Denson is the quarterback. And Denson is going to roll left and wants to throw and does throw and has a man wide open, but missed the mark at the 35-yard line. I mean, he had Yancey standing all alone.
And one pass that you don't see underthrew the receiver.
Yeah. And my apologies, that time Yancey was running the short route. That was actually Emmanuel Ellison who had broken open 15 yards downfield. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Now, we talked about those 4 receivers, how effective they had been at the end of last year, and trying to get it cranked up tonight. having a tough time against this Indian defense.
2nd and 10. Denson with the blitz coming, hits a slant route, and receiver's gone. Not going to catch him this time. All the way for pay dirt. Theus has another long touchdown for the Panthers as he takes a little swing pass and turns it into 6 for Duncanville.
Well, I tell you what, Theus, the longest before tonight for Theus had been 5 yards, Ken.
Well, he just, I don't even know how many times dupled that, but it was by a bunch.
Yes, it was.
Up from Watts.
Well, he caught it about 5 yards down the field, but the rest of it was a sprint to the end
Once
zone.
he slipped one attempted tackle, there was nobody near him. And another extra point attempt that is, oh, bam, somehow got over the crossbar. I didn't think he was going to make it. 11:37 to go in this 3rd quarter, 27-9. Duncanville leads. More Indian football after this. And the Indians trail 27-9 as Watts gets ready to kick it off for Duncanville. And Waxahachie's got some serious catching up to do. And done a great job of shutting down the Duncanville attack. Helped Panthers scoreless in the 2nd quarter, but the big play strikes again. And now the kickoff hits the turf and just rolls free. And now the Indians break free on the return. Down the sideline, Jordan Smith is going to go to the 10, to the 5 for the touchdown. 78 yards on a bizarre kick that hits the turf, scoots forward, and Smith scoops it up and goes this distance for a special teams touchdown. 2 big kickoff returns for the Indians tonight.
How fast can you get down the sidelines? You can get down there pretty quick if your last name is Smith, partner. I'm going to tell you what, he picked it up. It looked like the cover relaxed when they saw it hit the turf like that, but there was one Indian that didn't relax, and Smith took it all the way.
Had a little entourage running with him, hit the sideline. Panthers didn't have enough of an angle to catch that. You talk about a boost. Now, did the Indians go for 2 here and try to make it a 10-point game?
Well, that's what it looks like.
J3's out on the field with Strange and company. And now seems to be a little consternation on the part of the Indian Brain Trust, so they're going to take a timeout here. Talk this over, but boy, that brings the crowd to life.
Well, it brought our booth to life, I'm going to tell you.
What looked like was going to be disaster turns into a big play for the Indians. Well, Jordan Smith just turned on the Jets.
A big crowd at Lumpkin Stadium tonight all came to their feet when they saw Smith break loose, and I would imagine almost everyone watching the field was running right along with Smith on that.
If not literally in their hearts.
Yes, right. That's right.
So 27-15 Indians down, and they're going to try to go for 2 and make this a 10-point game. After the timeout, they've got the play they want to run, and they keep the regular offense out there. And J3 is going to send 4 receivers
empty backfield
to the right side, stacked on the slot. And now they all start running back to the left side. 2 do anyway. Now Strange stops beside his quarterback. Now Smith in motion. Rolling right, throwing, and that's almost picked off. And And the 2-point. Guillen to kick it off for the Waxahachie Indians. The Indians now trailing by a score of 27-15, and that kick go in for a touchback. You know, talk about special teams, Coach, even though technically they don't count unless you're the Indians and you say you want them to for the Coppell punt return, kickoff return for touchdown.
A field goal.
We had a 45-yard field goal. We have had 2 78-yard kickoff returns tonight, one of those for a touchdown, a blocked extra point that got returned for 2. Special teams been doing okay. Offense starting 1st and 10 at their own 25. And Arnold in the backfield swinging it out, but he's going to go on the slant route, and diving catch made by Trenton Yancey, his favorite receiver tonight. It's only a pickup of 3 yards.
Well, main reason, good coverage that time by linebacker Caden Tollison.
Right there with him, number 20. So it'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Panthers. Ball resting at the Duncanville 29-yard line is Denson. Will throw a swing pass out in front of his intended receiver, incomplete. And then just to make sure that wasn't a lateral, Caden Tollison goes over and puts a little smackage on Theus, and it'll be 3rd and 6. He's not going to run that far and not at least get a little contact.
I started to say, you know, he had to go to the sideline 2 or 3 times. I don't know if it was blood on his uniform, blood on his arm, but they've got it.
Well, I'll tell you, with him, it's always
that's right.
He's always looking for somebody to attack.
Heavy tape on that left forearm. If you take a look, it's they've got it stopped now. Cooper and Tollison, outstanding linebackers for the Indians.
Denson to throw on 3rd and 6, going downfield. Good coverage. That ball is almost picked off. Incomplete. What a great effort by Snell, though, to step in front and almost intercepted that football.
And it was caught out of bounds by the Panther, but again, incomplete.
Nice defensive stand. Duncanville will have to punt it away with a 4th and 6 at their own 29. Piper was over there along with Snell and making sure that that wasn't a completed pass. And so the Indians will get the ball back. And in to punt the game is Trenton Yancey, of course. Punt this thing away. His high kick. Fair catch called for and made by Cohen Brown at the 43-yard line. And the Indians will start 1st and 10 at their own 43, down by 27-15. Boy, if you get into the end zone here.
Wow, yeah, now we've got a ball game, partner.
Ball game going on.
We've got us a good one anyway.
Yeah, 10:40 to go in this 3rd quarter.
It'll just be better.
28-yard punt by Yancey. He's not kicking them far, but he is kicking them really high.
Well, he from Cohen Brown, who had a big return at Coppell for a touchdown.
So J3 and the Indians head out.
Let's see if the passing game and the running game mesh to get a good drive going.
2 receivers left, 1 right. To the right of J3 is Strange. He'll take the handoff. Strange tries to shake and bake, but those white jerseys harass him and take him down just shy of the 45-yard line for a pickup of a yard.
Good blocking up front by the Indians, but
it's just hard to hold a block against this group, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. You can see the hands come out and move the blockers just a little bit and cover up the hole.
2nd down and 9. J3 will keep the same formation. Indian quarterback with the snap, and hold on. Somebody moved early. And for a team that wanted to try not to play behind the chains. It's happened a couple of times for the Indians of the evening as they move backwards.
You see, right before the snap, Duncanville defensive line jumped to the right that time and got a little twitch out of one of the Indian linemen.
Love to do that little shift. They don't move forward, they move laterally, but it's still enough to get some movement. Now 2nd and 14 for the Tribe. Meyer back to throw. Sets up the screen underneath. Duncanville blows it up.
Ooh.
Just blows it up. Just as soon as Strange hauled that ball in, he got tattooed by R.J. Williams, and there's no gain. So, in fact, a loss of 2 more yards. 3rd and 16.
Well, Williams got by the one blocker the Indians had out there that was going to open up the space, but as you said, quick reaction by the secondary and tackle for loss.
Let's go to the right side of the formation. A single receiver left on 3rd down and 16 for the Tribe. J3, straight drop, good protection, deep ball downfield, and that ball is caught, fumbled around and dropped. That was going to be a tough one for Jordan Thompson-Woods. He had it in his hands as he was falling, but it popped up, hit him on the shoulder pad, and then fell to the ground incomplete.
Well, that pass perfectly thrown by Meyer. You weren't going to get it any better.
No. Edwards on the coverage.
Where only the receiver for the Indians was going to be able.
Waxahachie will have to punt it away.
You know, you talk about Edwards. He's made 2 or 3 good defensive plays in the pass game.
And a big interception. One of those 2 interceptions tonight. Yes. Ethan Guillen on to punt it away. Yancey goes back to return. He will do his rugby style kick to the right side. That ball's going to take a sideways bounce now back towards the 30. The Indians will get on top of that thing at the 28. Touchdown by Cavante Williams for Waxahachie, and that's where Duncanville takes over with 8:51 to go in the 3rd quarter, leading the Indians 27-15 after a 35-yard punt from Guillen.
You know, number 34, Mason Fincher, 5'10", 185-pound junior, has taken the place of Lane Fincher on the deep snaps. That time a perfect about those things, but Lane doing a good job on that punt.
Well, if you lose a Fincher, you just put another Fincher in there.
That's it.
Indians have re-Finchered at the deep snap spot. 1st and 10. Panthers at their own 28. Diamond formation, 3 receivers left. Benson's looking that way. Now he's running, and the Indians got him. Ooh, almost stripped that ball away 25 as he was going down, but Waxahachie collapsing, and Matthew Grant got him and
he's still down.
Slung his arms around him, and
big lineman still down. Tell you what, we've seen some hard-hitting games the last couple of years, but tonight I think
would match any of them.
It certainly would.
Well, let's tell folks that tonight's game is being brought to you in part by Walton's Total Car Care, Robert Jiffy Burger, Featherston Auto Repair, Red Phoenix Roofing, Tow Pro Wrecker Service, Crime Stoppers of Ellis County. We also want to thank Mountain Mike's Pizza for bringing in a pie for the crew before tonight's game, and Miss Christy Autry and those delicious fried pies that we've enjoyed tonight too. 2nd and 13, handled up in the air and ball, and that's a helmet. That's not a ball that goes flying. One of the Indians lost their lid. I thought that was the ball popping out of there at first. And Snell's helmet, thank goodness his head wasn't still in it, and it's going to be 3rd down and 11 for the Panthers.
Yeah, getting it all strapped up on the sideline. That's a couple of times. Quan has lost the.
I'm telling you, he's in there. He's in there to seek and destroy. He don't half hit anybody. 3rd and 11. Panthers. With a snap back. Denson looking to throw. Pressure coming. Hit as he throws. Intercepted and dropped at the 44-yard line. That was right to Waxahachie's cornerback. Jordan Thompson-Woods couldn't hang on to it. Excuse me, that was number 6. That was Braylon Davis, who just couldn't hang on to that ball, and Duncanville will have to punt it away, and boy, he's feeling bad as he thinks about what could have been.
Well, he looked at those hands and said, how can you fail me now? Woo, I'm going to tell you.
So back into punt once again. Trenton Yancey, and back to return again, Cohen Brown. 7:35 to go in the third quarter, 27-15 Duncanville. Indians bringing the pressure, and they don't get to it. Fair catch called for. Well, they're lucky they didn't rough Yancey. He got hit, but he kept his feet, thank goodness. Cohen Brown calls that at the 39-yard line.
Well, maybe one
Any other true punter would have put on quite a show there.
Absolutely.
33-yard punt, the best of the night for Yancey.
Well,
Under duress, though. Waxahachie was trying their best to block that punt.
I wonder if maybe Waxahachie didn't get a tiny
Maybe a little fingertip on that thing.
on that one.
Well, it did. They lost a fingertip because it's with 33 yards after that. Indians back with the football, looking for something that'll give them a spark offensively. J3 inside. Smith turning upfield, breaks a tackle, cuts at the 45, has a first down as he crosses midfield. What a tough run by Jordan Smith to pick up 12 and an Indian first down.
Yeah, an inside handoff that time. Good blocking on the right side of the offensive line for the Indians. And you get that type of blocking and that type of hard running, you get that first down. Indians, little momentum partner right here.
Dylan Williams, 31 yards now for Smith on 4 carries tonight. Here's Strange off the left side, and Panthers look like they're waiting for number 4 when he gets the football. No gain.
Well,
they collapse on the Indian tailback.
At number 5, Johnny on the spot from the middle linebacker
Maybe
spot.
you should say Jalen on the spot. Jalen Manning.
Yes.
He has been in on a bunch of them tonight.
J.M.
And 10 for the Indians from the Duncanville 48. 4 receiver formation split evenly left and right as J3 sends Smith in motion. Takes the snap. Now hands off on a little reverse or counter play to Strange. Finds a little more running room this time. Gets to the 45, but it'll be 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Indians.
Again, Myers sprinting to his left, and as you said, countering, handing off to Strange, going back to the right.
3rd down and 6. We go under 6 minutes to play in the third quarter, and the Indians down 27-15. They've been on Duncanville territory all night tonight. But unfortunately, just haven't been able to cash in. Waxahachie's lone score this half has been on a kickoff return for a touchdown. Third, J3 flips it out to Smith. Stutter step. He's going to get a yard, but that's all. 4th down and 5 coming up for the Indians as he only can make it to the 44. Corralled and taken out of bounds that time by Yusuf Agabadi.
Well, you know, that play looked pretty good in practice, but with the Duncanville Panthers in position to keep the first move and that little toss pass to the sideline, they covered that up, and a late goal allowed the rest of the Panthers to get.
Is this a spot where you might think of a little fakeage from the Indians?
We haven't seen that yet.
Guillen back in punt formation. It's 4th down and 5, but they're at the Duncanville 44.
Well, the Panthers don't have anyone deep, so they might be thinking the same thing.
Guillen is going to go ahead and kick it away. He's going to kick it into the end zone. That thing is going to take, it's going to check up. Indians will be able to down that around the 10. Boy, I thought that thing was headed for the end zone for sure, and it checked up just right for the Tribe. Perp's third quarter with a 27-15 lead over the Indians after Guillen hits another 35-yard punt. It's about his average tonight. He's been a little bit better than that for the season. You can tell both these punters are, as you said, going for height more than distance.
Well,
to give their coverage teams time to get down there on these explosive return guys.
Well, again, the Panthers that time didn't have anybody deep, and it was just a position kick for Ethan. He did a good job getting him inside the 10.
So Duncanville 1st and 10 from their 9. Vincent with a 3 receiver formation operating from the near hash, home side. And with the snap, he'll take and throw the deep ball downfield and has a man, and right over his shoulder, catch made at the 45-yard line, right on the money, and able to drop that in the bucket there to make that catch is number 4, Emmanuel Ellison. You know, he was the guy who almost made the great catch downfield earlier. Big play, get them out of the shadow of their goalpost and out to the 46-yard line.
Cornerback moved up on top of him. Ellison got a step, and as you said, the perfect pass, and out of the shadows of the goalpost they go.
Handoff Arnold. Indians got him stacked up going nowhere. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up.
21 Arnold.
Yeah, that's a 37-yard completion, and that thing fell right over his shoulder and right into the breadbasket. But good job by the Indians converging there as Taylon Pierce and Caden Tollison and company all in there to make that stop. Running attack has not hurt the Indians tonight. It's been the aerial attack that has been the bugaboo for this defense. Just a couple of long pass plays. 2nd down and 10. The Duncanville Panthers trying to move downfield, and Denson back to throw. Now he wants to run, and he's got room to do it. Midfield, and then he slides down at the Indian 48 as he saw Caden Tollison coming his way and don't want none of that.
Well, I tell you what, he's taken a couple of tough hits himself tonight. And as you said it just right, number 20 steaming at you.